My name is Daniel Robinson. I attend AC Flora, and I'm planning to major in geology at College of Charleston.
Good job.
When the lights and camera turn off, I will be here. When the interest and conversation fade, I will be here. When there's no one around, a father will do anything it takes to be there for his son, to protect his family.
David.
Where's everybody?
9 painful months.
Without these special people behind me, I wouldn't have the search. Hello, everyone. Dave Robinson here, the father of geologist Daniel Cornelius Robinson. Also, I'm a Democratic candidate for South Carolina Congressional District 2. Come today just for a really, really short live. As many may know, June 23rd is coming up. June 23rd is coming up, and I need to start there. On June 23rd, on 2021, my son, geologist Daniel Cornelius Robinson, went missing out there in the Sonoran Desert. Without going through the full story of my son's disappearance, you all know I have fought tirelessly for my son and also for other families bringing closures while working out there in that Sonoran Desert for 50 weeks. I can't say June 23rd, 2021 was the hardest day of my life. You can imagine when you are losing a child to a Miss American crisis that we have across this country, something that goes unheard, because we have been drowned out by so many other things that's happening in our country. We cannot focus on what's happening under our noses. We have over 600,000 Americans that go missing every year, 3,000 a day, over 2,000 children that goes missing in our country, yet no one really gets to talk about what's happening. I would have never known this. I would have never known what's happening in our country, the crisis that we are facing, if my son hadn't gone missing. A lot of us won't know until we come into contact with someone or something that will let us know that, hey, we have this crisis going on. So unfortunately, my son is still currently missing. It'll be 5 years come this June 23rd. As you all know, I have been working very hard in a campaign, run for U.S. Congress, that actually came from my efforts to find my son. And I've been working very hard on the campaign. I ran in 2024 and I lost the election. I had a bill in my hand that I written, Help Find Missing Americans Act, that's Daniel Robinson's law, that I was taking to the U.S. Congress to help those families, just like I said, those families who have not had their voices heard, who do not have an avenue, law enforcement who have their hands tied in certain cases, to bring some relief to those situations. Again, like I said, I lost in 2024 and decided to keep my campaign going in 2024 until this day. Until recently, here on June 9th, as you all probably can know. For those who have been voting for me, I want to say thank you so much who have voted for me and supported my campaign. But we won the majority of the vote on June 9th, this past week. June 9th, we had 41% of the vote, and that's only because we had total of four candidates on the ballot, which split the vote. But we still pulled off 41% of the vote. The people have spoken and wanted me to advance into the midterm election. However, in South Carolina, we have a rule. You have to get 51% of the vote. That's 50 plus 1%, meaning 51% of the vote that you have to have to move forward in the primary, after the primary elections, to go into the midterm election. We did not cross that threshold with 51% of the vote, again, because we have four candidates on the ballot that split the vote. So now we're off into a runoff. Runoff is a person that's on the first of the top of the ticket, which was my campaign, and then the second of that ticket, which is a candidate named Zion Khalifa, who will be running against me in the runoff. As you all know, 3 months ago, I came here on Warriors of the Mission to ask the public, because I have been working very hard on the campaign. I had opportunities to decide what I want to do for the anniversary date of my son going missing. Very hard mentally to put an event together that I normally do every year for missing Americans. Again, and also to talk about the bill, Help Find Missing America Act, how this bill will help families. So I was unable to put an event together in my mind. So I came to the public, you guys, about 3 months ago to ask if you can help me come up with ideas. And I want to thank those who are right now have their messages in my inbox. I see them. I see your text messages, and thank you so much for the emails. But my goal was to wait to June 9th to be able to address those, because like I said, my mind was definitely into campaign. I had to get past this June 9th primary. And my goal was to then address what we're going to do for the event for for June 23rd. But when I went to the other night after June 9th, went to see when is the runoff that I would have to, which is very quickly, that I have to get together to make sure that this campaign that is number one, 41% of the vote, can advance until into the primary, the midterm elections. I look at the date, and it took me by surprise. And it took me by surprise so much, the fact that, normally when you win like I did on June 9th with 41% of the vote, you give a speech to the voters and say, hey, you know what? Thank you so much for your vote. Thank you for believing in me and my campaign. I couldn't even do that night, because when I looked at the date when I would have to have this runoff to add to the speech that I have written to thank people for voting for me for June 9th election, I found the date was June 23rd. June 23rd. June 23rd. For those who know, June 23rd is, again, a crucial date, a hard date. A hard date for me as a father, a hard date for you, those who have been supporting me and my son, those who have been supporting the campaign. You must know that is a hard date, a very hard date. And so when I saw June 23rd that night, on June 9th, I was taken by surprise. I'll be honest with you guys, I was very emotional. I was very emotional and very hurt, because I could not come up with an idea of what I want to do for not just my son, because I have never been selfish about advocating for missing Americans by just talking about my son. I bring other families in. I talk about cases, and I try to highlight what's happening in our country. Try to give everybody a seat at the table. Try to make sure we have a way to get our family's name out there. But I couldn't even think of anything. But when I saw June 23rd, that took me, because now, instead of me putting an event together to help many Americans out there, I have to fight for this campaign. The runoff is on June 23rd against Zion Khalifa. He's a young Democrat that's running. I really like to thank everyone who's running to try to do something for our country. But you all know I have been fighting since my son went missing. Sometimes tragedy can bring out the best of you. It could bring in change. It could bring in something that we all need in our country. That's the reason why I said the Daniel Robinson law is something that's actively being pushed here in South Carolina. It's been, I have wrote a version for U.S. Congress, a version for Arizona, and also Louisiana. But I'm saying tragedy can bring changes and opportunities for everyone. I have never thought about being a politician, never in my life. But I can say I have been on my couch and on my seat, you could say, really disappointed and aggravated and frustrated by the state of our economy, state of our country. Those things are already in my head. I talk about them all the time, but a lot of us do not get up out of our seat and do anything about it. We'll talk about it. We'll go to the polls. I always been the person that go vote every election. I mean, every election. I don't miss. But you never get out there and say, hey, I'm going to do something personally. But my tragedy for my son going missing out there in that Sonoran Desert, it caused me to do several things. It caused me to Help Find Missing Americans Act, to help as many families as I can. It caused me to learn how to write legislation. It caused me to currently write 3 more legislations I'm working on. It caused me to run for U.S. Congress to make a difference, not just for my son and my family, but the whole entire country. That's what got me to run. So when people ask the question, why are you running for U.S. Congress? Why are you running? Why are you really running? And you all know the answer that I have. I'm running because I really care. If you all seen what I have been doing for the last 5 years, you know that I actually care about everyone. So I would approach the U.S. Congress the same exact way as I have been doing for 5 years with my son. Working hard. Don't take vacation. Pushing as hard as I can. Crafting legislation that really matters. I'm not talking. I don't look that great, I'm sure. I don't wear the finest suits or have a Hollywood a feel about myself. But I can tell you I actually do work. I actually have lived experience. I have been through the pain, and I'm still going through the pain of losing a child. Don't know what the answers are. I have been a single parent raising children on my own. I'm a veteran. I can keep going on and on about my lived experiences and what makes me unique when I go to the challenges of people who don't vote like me. I've seen the walks of people out there in the Sonoran Desert. Nobody cared what your political ideologies were. They was there to help one person, David Robinson, to find his son. And so I was able to bring people together to join together. And I've seen that happen right there in that Sonoran Desert. And I can see it happening right here in South Carolina. But we need somebody, a leader, a person who actually can do that. And so that's where I'm coming to you all today, because I really need your help. I need the community help. I need the help of everyone who have been following me for the last 5 years. 5 years. It'll be June 23rd, it'll be 5 years. Have helped me for the last 5 years to bring awareness, to fight, to allow me to go into to this fight for U.S. Congress that I am doing currently right now. And I need you all to do everything you can to mobilize to help me, and those who are right here in South Carolina as well, to help mobilize people back to the polls to say, hey, we voted for David Robinson for Congress with 41% of the vote, and we coming back out again to make sure the job is finished. And we're here in South Carolina, for those who don't know, that's listening to me right now, we had a high stakes election. We had a very high stakes election. We had some gerrymandering of the lines that really mobilized the base and people to come out to say, hey, no, we're not going to have Washington speaking for us. And we have record numbers of people that came out to the polls, record numbers. In our first time in our history here in South Carolina, it's record numbers of people came out for early voting. Could you imagine that lines was wrapped around the building? I've been out there, so I've seen them. And we had the record numbers of voters out there who came out to have their voices heard. Those same people voted for David Robinson, 41% of the vote. But it's hard to ask people to come out again when they have jobs, they have things they need to do, they probably get ready to go on vacation. So it makes it very hard right now to ask people to come out one more time to make sure that we finish the job, because you voted for me one time before, and I'm asking you to vote for me again on June 23rd. We have early voting that's on the 17th and on the 18th if it's convenient for you. But June 23rd is the date that I need everyone to please come back out again to finish the job. I can't tell you, we have a debate coming up on Monday, and we were talking about myself and the other side, the competitor, Zion Khalifa. We will have a debate that's coming up. But I can tell you again, I have lived experience. I'm the one that's best fit to take on Joe Wilson. I got 41% of the vote against during the time a 24-year incumbent. I think 24-year incumbent. But I have been there with 41% of the vote. You saw the momentum in 2024 where people look at David Robinson and say, hey, I can come to the other side. I have many times people on the Republican side that looked at me and stopped me in the street. They see the sign on my car and say, hey, I'm a conservative, I'm a Republican, but I'm going to vote for you this time. And I really believe it. I believe it. All I have to do is get into the be able to speak to people, which I am willing to do. You all see I have for the last year, since June last year. I have a weekly bipartisan town hall that I have been doing. I did one in person. I paid a lot of money for one downtown for Joe Wilson. I created one for him, a bipartisan town hall, so he can talk to his constituents, because his constituents, I'm a constituent, have been asking Joe Wilson to please do town halls to hear what we have to say. We want to know why you're voting a certain way, why you're saying it. And he avoids every time the seat is always empty. And last year, I had to do 3 town halls in his place. He didn't show up, and I had to talk to his constituents, which I am a constituent too of his district. I had to take his place. So I am already doing the work. I have been doing the work for 5 years. We have Zion Khalifa, who joined to say he running for U.S. Congress here in January. He started in January. I started in 2024, and I still continue without stopping. But here in January, he have really appeal. Of course, he's a young gentleman. I really appreciate what he's doing, but he has an appeal. And I can't say, to be honest with you, the establishment seems to back him that way, because it's star appeal. But star appeal was not going to win in November. Star appeal is not going to win in November, and people need to understand that. Star appeal will not win in November against Joe Wilson. It looks good on paper, but in reality, we need someone like David Robinson to stand up against Joe Wilson, because I've been doing it for, again, almost 5 years. 5 years will be June 23rd. That's why you see it right here on the bottom of the screen. June 23rd, the same day my son went missing. I have a reason to fight. I have a continuation to fight. I have a reason why I ran for office in the first place. I can't say for the other person why they're really running, but ask them, why are you really running? What experiences that you had in your life that caused you to feel that, hey, I need to do something about this? I have been there. I have lived it. Have lived experience and currently still have those experiences. I still have the pain of June 23rd in my head. I have the pain of being a single parent, raising children of my own, trying to figure out what I'm going to do when it comes to feeding them, clothing them, giving them medicines, what school they would go to, what jobs that I can take, things like that. When I had to give up my own career, we have people that's attorneys right now. I don't know how they're going to school. Didn't have to, I'm sure, pay a lot of college debt, or probably get ready to pay college debt. But I have been there and done that, trying to figure out how I'm going to pay for schooling. I had to make the choices between finish my career in computer engineering or taking care of my children. Of course, I do the latter and put them first. I started my own business in trucking, very successful business, but gave it up after our country's been attacked on 9/11. I've done that. I decided to be a patriot and do what I had to do for our country, put myself in harm's way. I ended up in Afghanistan, where I had an injury that ended my career in the military. I was trying to get ready to join special forces, but had an injury that ended my career, causing me to be a disabled combat engineer, retired. But I came out of retirement. I have no jobs that I'm trying to do, no careers I'm trying to build for myself. Not trying to build on a portfolio, but a retired military person who's coming out to fight for his country once again. So I guess you all right now to please come back out to the ballot boxes and vote for David Robinson for Congress. There's a lot riding on this. We have to change our country. We have to put checks and balances back in place. We have to look out for the least of these in our state. We know the vulnerable population. I'm one of them. I can't say for my competitor, but I'm on Medicare. I'm a veteran. I'm a disabled veteran. And those things are very important to me. when they'll take away our Medicaid, our Medicare. You know, those things are important. So of course, I'm going to fight for those. It's a personal thing for me. I can't say that for my competitor. I can't say that he's on Medicaid or Medicare. I don't know. But what I can say that I am, and I'm a fighter for what we need in our country. And they're dismantling a lot of things from our own lived experiences. So I'm a fighter who actually been through it, and I'm fighting for something I know that I have dealt with myself, and I know many people are still continuing to do that. So if we get past the star appeal that we see, then we can have some work actually done, because we don't need to keep shooting ourselves in the foot. We yes, our base will be very excited, but when it comes down to the reality, we need to beat Joe Wilson. So I ask you right now, for those who are in South Carolina, please vote for David Robinson for Congress. Again, come back out in overwhelming numbers to stand up for someone who you know can take us to the end in November. So thank you so much. And those who have been following me for my son and helping me fight for my son, understand, I want to do an event, and I do have some people talking to me in the background. I want to say it really quick, and I don't want to put their names out because they have nonprofits, and I don't want to put the politics into their nonprofits. But I have a nonprofit and a few others who are out there right now helping me come up with an event on June 23rd at the light of me still fighting for the seat on June 23rd to bring awareness for our missing Americans out there, because this is very important. And I want to thank them up front for doing that for me and helping me out, because it's a lot of work. Because y'all know most of everything I do is a one-man band. My competitors have a whole team. A lot of them in the party that we have, the Democratic Party, working hard for him to get him out there to win, to primary me out. But I have you. I have the voters. I have everyday Americans, regular people. I have those who are not drowned out by the noise, and they understand what's really happening in their own home. And they can see me as a person they can trust and know that I would do everything in my power, because you see me do it. It's one thing, the person telling you something they can do, but a person who has already done it and continue to do so. And that is David Robinson. That is me. And I'm continuing to fight for each and every last one of you with everything I got. I haven't taken a vacation. Those who have been following me and my son, you have known I've been saying this for years, since Daniel have been gone missing. I have not been on vacation since before COVID. And you all know I'm on a coastal state. I'm in South Carolina, an ocean right there. We have Myrtle Beach. We have Pawleys Island. We have Hilton Head. We have all these places right here, nice beaches. I have not been to one of them. And you all know that I am a beach loving person, because I've been working. I worked for this. Some people started in January. I have been working for this for 5 years. And I'm asking you to help me get over the top and continue this thing and finish this thing. So thank you again. I'm going to jump off because I have to get out here and work. I'm often a one-man band, meaning that I need volunteers. I need people to help. But I don't wait on anyone. I just keep working. So thank you so much, and God bless you all. And we'll talk soon. Take care.